So to start our project, our Artificial Intelligence Smart Classroom project, we're going to head to the website machinelearningforkids.co.uk. When you go to this website, you should be presented with this window. And we're going to press Get Started. And in here, it gives you a few options. Now, if you're allowed to sign up, you might sign up. However, you can do this without signing up and click on Try It Now. So that's what I'm going to do. Try it now. So we're here in our project window, and what we're going to do first of all is add a new project. So this plus button here. I'm going to give it a project name, so I'll call it Smart Classroom. And the purpose of the Smart Classroom is that we want it to recognise text. So in the drop-down menu, I'm going to choose text. Now there's other options we can do for different projects, but for this one, it's about recognising text. So there we go, Smart Classroom in text, and the language is set to English. If you want to change the language to another language, that's absolutely fine, but for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll keep it in English. And then we press Create. And here is our Smart Classroom. So I'm going to click on it, and I've got three options in here: to train, to learn and test, and to make. Now with machine learning, what we do is we have to train our machine for a certain job. And the job we want it to do is to recognise 4 different commands: to turn the light on, to turn the light off, to turn the fan on, and turn the fan off. So we have to train it to do that. So I'm going to choose the train option. So here's our training window. And in order to make our training window work, we need to add some buckets. So click on this, Add New Label. And then here, what we're going to do is we're going to do everything that's going to understand how to turn on the fan. Add. So by my bucket here for turn on the fan, I'm going to start training this with all the examples of things that people might say that would make the fan come on. So I'm going to click and start some examples. So I might say, fan on. Add an example, switch the fan on. I might add turn the fan on, turn on, turn on the fan. I'm going to add 6 or 8 of these. I might then say, I am too hot, because if I'm too hot, I'd like the fan to come on. Add example, I need to cool down. I want the fan to come on. I might say, activate fan. I might say, I need some air. I might say, make it cooler. I might say, it is too hot. I might say, it is too warm. So what I'm doing in here is adding various different things that people might say that would result in the fan being turned on. So there's my examples here. You can add as many as you like. It's good to get about 6 or 8, if not more, but that's my examples here. And once you're happy that you've got enough examples, we're going to add another label for turning the fan off. So press the plus button and turn off the fan. And press add. And then you would do the same thing and add similar instructions that you would want people to say for the fan to go off. You might say, turn off the fan. Add. fan off. Switch off the fan, please, if you're very polite. It is too cold. I am too hot. There we go. And you can continue adding those different instructions for turning the fan off and on. So once you're happy with those, you would then add another label for turning the light on and the light off. So add a new label, turn light on, add, and we'll do a turn light off. Add. So there's my turn on the fan, turn off the fan, turn the light on and turn the light off. So what I'd like you to do at this point is come up with the different types of phrases that people might use to get the light to come on or the light to go off. So here we are with our 4 buckets for turn on the fan, turn off the fan, turn light on and turn light off. And I've added various different sentences or phrases that I might use to turn my light on, to turn my light off, to turn off the fan and to turn on the fan. I'm quite happy with those, but let's go back to the project. So now we have our training data in. We need to get our classroom to learn what all those things mean and we want to test it. So I'm going to press the Learn and Test button. And it tells me you've got 10 examples of turn on the fan, 5 examples of turn off the fan, 7 examples of turn the light on, and 6 examples of turn the light off. So now down here you see a blue button that says Train New Machine Learning Model. And you're going to press that button and it takes a minute or so for that to happen. Okay, so you'll know when your model has been trained because you will see that this box here now changes and you've got an option that says delete this model. But importantly, you now have a way to test your training. So in this dialog box here, you can start to put things in here. So if I try and put in turn on lights and press test, it tries to recognize what it is and it says it recognizes that phrase as turn light on with 74% confidence. So it's 74% sure that turn light on is the right thing to do. If I try it again, switch the lights off now and test, and it recognises that as turning the light off with 94% confidence. So things that I'm typing in here are things that don't exist in my training data. It's just different ways of saying things. So if I was to say my eyes are sore because of the light. So if I was to type that in, I would hope my system recognises the fact that I've got sore eyes, it's too bright, so it should turn the light off. So I'm hoping it's going to say that. I'm going to press test. It wants to turn the light on here. So at this point I might say, maybe there's not enough data in my training model to go and recognise some of these more descriptive phrases. So in order to make that better, I would go back to my project, go back to the training option, and I could add more bits of information or more phrases into each of these buckets. So I want the light to turn off if my eyes are sore. My eyes hurt. My eyes are sore. So I've added these 2 new options in and I want the light to come off if I say that. So go back to my project, back to learn and test, scroll down and train the new machine learning model. And here we go, that's it, finished training. And I can try things again here now. So go, the light hurts my eyes. So I wonder now if it knows to switch the light off. Let's test that. 95% of turn the light off. Brilliant. So I'm going to leave it like that. We're going to go and try and put all these new instructions into the Scratch project. So back to the project. And at this point, we're going to press make. And we're going to make with Scratch 3. If you wanted to do it with one of these other programs, absolutely fine, but we'll do it with Scratch 3 here. And press the button that says open in Scratch 3. And what it'll do is it'll open up Scratch within the Machine Learning for Kids website. It might take a minute to load. And here we have, hopefully, what is a fairly familiar interface to you all. But what you should see down the left-hand corner, our Smart Classroom Machine Learning for Kids model is now a part of this down here. So what I want to do now is I want to open up my Smart Classroom. So this has already been built for us. That project that I showed at the start has already been built. So what we're going to do is go to Project Templates, and we'll just search for Smart. There we go, the Smart Classroom. There's a couple of them here, but we're going to choose the easy one for this activity. So press that. And there is the project that we had to begin with. So again, by zooming in, we can see we've got if our answer equals turn off the fan, if our answer equals turn off the fan, all those types of things. We're going to replace these with our machine learning information. So I'll make this window a bit smaller. So down at the left-hand side where it says Smart Classroom, you can click on that and you can see some new commands that are specific from the Smart Classroom model that we just built. And we can see the different boxes that we created, our turn on the fan, our turn off the fan, turn light on, turn light off. They all now exist. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take out the answer from this condition here. So this is for turning the fan on. And the first option you have on the left hand side in the Smart Classroom controls is recognize text, text, label. We're going to take that here. We're going to pop our answer inside there. So what this now says is that whatever answer I type in, it's going to compare it to the recognize text option within machine learning. So I'm going to pop that in the first condition here. So we're going to say go off and take whatever I've typed into my Scratch program, put it into the machine learning model like you did when you were typing in things to test them out. And then if that equals something, we want to turn the fan on. So in this case, we want it to take the turn on the fan command that we made, that bucket, and stick it here. So what we have is that when you type in a command, and if it recognizes what you type in as a turn on the fan instruction, it'll broadcast turn on the fan. And we would do the same for the other if statements down here. So I'm going to remove the answer from here, take the recognize text label, put my answer in here, drag that into my condition, and instead of saying the text turn on the fan, we want it to be the label turn off the fan here, and pop that in. Now you could, if you so want, you can do the same thing again, but you can just right click and you can duplicate that if you so wanted, save you doing it, and get rid of your answer and pop that in here. Right click and duplicate, get rid of my answer, and oops, excuse me, I'll pick it up again, pop that in here, and replace those with, we want the light to go on to turn on the lamp, and turn the light off instead of turn off the lamp. So we've replaced our conditional statements with our artificial intelligence machine learning little program that we've trained. So whenever I type in my answer, it's going to take the answer, almost like it's going to then plug that into the machine learning site and that little text box. It's going to figure out what the answer is, and if the answer is a turn on the fan, it'll broadcast the fan on message. And likewise, we're turning off the fan for the light on and for the light off. So let's see if that works. We'll press the green flag, and I'll make this bigger so we can see it, hopefully a bit better. So enter your command. Right, let's put lights on. So again, I don't know how well you can see this, but I've typed the word lights on in the bottom. Brilliant. I am too hot. Oh, it didn't recognise that. I didn't like that. We'll try the turn fan on. Turn on the fan. Oh, there we go. There's a fan on now. Let's try fan off. Let's try it is too bright in here. And the lights come off. So that's kind of working how I would expect. Maybe a few little tweaks to do that. So our machine learning model is recognizing text that isn't just turn on the fan, turn off the fan. It's recognizing a wider range of English language because we've trained our model to recognize the types of language each device might want to use. Now you can always go back to your machine learning model. You can update that, and it should update your program back here. So what you can do is go back to Machine Learning for Kids, back to Scratch project, back into train, and we can add some more examples in here if we want. So for another turn off the fan, you might then say, I am far too cold in here, for example. That would turn off the fan. Back to project, learn and test, and train new model like we did before. And that should update the model, and once that's done, again, wait for that box to disappear. Once that's done, your project should update for you to then try out your new commands.